Alright, so today's video is happening because my kid really wanted to see what happens when robot vacuums go up against leaves. I don't think this is going to be a long one. My guess is most of these are either going to throw an error or just completely ignore the leaves. We've also got a bonus robot in the test today. I just finished replacing the motor on this iRobot i8, so yeah, we're putting it right back to work. Might as well see if the repair actually holds up. And on top of the normal robot vacuums, we're throwing in my kid's toy robot. This is what we're calling the Start Robot. It actually moves pretty fast for a toy, but to be fair, it's more of a sweeping toy than a real robot vacuum. Still counts for science. To keep things a little more controlled, I raked up a pile of leaves and dumped them inside the garage. That way the robot vacuums aren't getting hung up on dirt, mud, or grass, and we can focus on how they actually handle the leaves. Okay, these are going way longer than I thought they would. I'm honestly not even sure how we're supposed to score this test anymore. So I guess the plan is we wait to see which ones give up first, throw an error, or have some kind of existential crisis. And then we'll check all the bins at the end. Looks like the first one out is the iRobot i8 series. I'm guessing it just doesn't want to wreck that new motor on this mess. And next up to tap out is the shark. Looks like all the leaves got jammed up in the rollers. Honestly, it kind of looks like the leaves got stuck in the shark's teeth and never made it to the belly. But we'll crack it open and check. Okay, so it did have a small pile of leaves in its bin, but not near the amount clogging up its rollers. Now the Eufy is erroring out too. Looks like the Eufy probably ran into the same problem as the Shark, where most of the leaves just ended up getting jammed in the rollers. There are a lot of leaves that need to be picked out of Eufy's rollers. We're going to have to do a full deep clean on all of these robots after this. The leaf test is definitely not a test I'd recommend, unless you're being heavily pressured into it by a preschooler. The Eufy did about as well as the Shark. It managed to chew through some of the leaves and even get a few into the bin. But give it too many at once and they just pile up. And that's a leaf buffet it can't munch its way through. The smart toy robot sweeper has finally met a pile of leaves it just couldn't push its way through. So we're officially pulling it out of the leaf arena. We decided to clean out the iRobot i8, clear out the error, and send it back in for one last run. And so far, it's still moving. Oh, and it looks like the iRobot i8 just errored out again. I think that officially takes it out of the war on leaves. Okay, so the iRobot doesn't actually seem to have a leaf jam like the other bots. Yeah, it doesn't look like any leaves actually made it into the bin. There are a few leaf bits stuck behind the rollers, though, right where they're supposed to head into the bin. Mama Bear is not holding back on that robot. She's really smacking the dust out of it. Yep, not a lot made it to the bin for the iRobot i8. Alright, to speed this video along, we're going to stop waiting for the Lefant and the Roborock to finally error out, and instead just see what they've managed to collect in their bins. First up is the Lefant. It looks like it was able to keep going, mostly because it was just pushing its way through the leaves. One or two of the smaller leaves actually got sucked up, but for the most part, it was doing about the same thing as the smart toy sweeper. And the last one to check is the Roborock. It's got a pile of leaves jammed up in the rollers, which is actually a good sign, because it means at least some of the leaves made it into the bin.
Water tank combo unit removed. Turning off.
And the Roborock did manage to get some leaves into its bin as well, but not very many. Alright, that's going to do it for this test. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate you sticking around to the end. If you enjoyed this video, or learned what not to do with robot vacuums and leaves, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel out, and there's more experiments like this on the way. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.